What's up, Rust friends? How is everyone? Rust friend, we have had such a crazy week in wrestling, but I'm really, really excited to be live streaming and chatting with you. Teddy, how are you?
Me too. I'm good, best friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, and
Mm.
we've gone to two AEW shows this week, Rust friend.
Yes.
Chicago
Yes, we
is on.
did.
We are on a high, even though we saw Cole Cabana get murdered. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Still
okay.
getting over that.
Yes, processing. We're gonna have to
Yep.
process a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here to chat about AEW's All In. And it's my first All In show. Friend, you got to go to the original All In, the
I
OG.
did. I did.
Well, how did you feel about this pay-per-view? Were you excited to see it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I was excited to see it. At the same time, I didn't have too many high expectations because I didn't want to, I just didn't want to have high expectations, but it exceeded whatever expectations I did have. It was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I got to go to Texas with two of our friends, and I decided that we had to talk about that with them. So
Hmm.
joining me are is the group chat. Okay, this is the OG, the group chat. Casey and
Win!
Oh
guys
my God.
partying.
Hi,
How we
guys.
doing? Wow.
Well, Casey, I am super excited that you're joining us. You're an amazing cosplayer, a great friend, and just 10 out of 10 all around. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Happy to be here. Still missing y'all in Texas. Come back, please.
And we're also joined by Mr. Rated R himself. A lot of you guys, you hear us mention him here on the podcast. He is one of the absolute, just most amazing podcasters. And when we started our channel, we really got our news and our cheesemate from Lucha Outsiders. So, Mario, I know you got your intro. Would you please let the people know who you are?
Welcome to an. No, I'm kidding. Let me stop. I am yours truly, Mr. Rated R Mario from the Lucha Outsiders Show. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on Restaurants.
Tears, not the honor.
I miss all y'all too. Texas, I can't believe it was a week ago that we're all
I
together.
know.
Nuts.
Yeah.
It feels so long ago. Casey, I think you had said in the chat, like, oh my God, it's going to be a week. I was like, a week? We literally planned that trip for a year and it went by like
Like
this.
this. It was so crazy.
Well, guys, I want to start, I guess, with our Airbnb. We got to Texas. Casey, you picked us up. Shout out to you and Raul for doing that for us. And we headed to the Airbnb. You picked it out. Great spot, by the way. So let's talk about this Airbnb and how close it was to the stadium, because shout out to you for finding one that was that close.
We were very lucky in the Airbnb that we got. I was very surprised at the pricing and then the location. It was not in walking distance, as it mentioned in the description, but you could literally see AT&T Stadium from where we were. The neighborhood was super quiet, and it was perfect for us. It had enough bathrooms for everybody to get ready. It had plenty of space. It was just, we really lucked out. Everything was like 3 to 5 minutes from where we were. So I was very surprised, and it was just a wonderful space. We kept calling it home by the end of we're like, let's go home, because it just felt very, very comfortable. My only complaint was I didn't know that the AC made noises. So the first night I literally thought someone was at the master bedroom door. I was like, Raul, wake up, there's someone outside. But after that I was fine.
I forgot about the air conditioner making that noise. So Teddy, before it would turn on, it would go like, it would like hear, like it was knocking, like a knocking sound,
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 times, and then it would turn on, but it would go like a big old noise, and you'd be like,
I never noticed the noise throughout the whole trip. Of course Never
"Mm."
you
Never
noticed
noticed
it. Of course not. No. Well, and downstairs there was like a vent right up outside the door. So it would sound like someone was walking on like the wood flooring. Like when it would
Oh,
turn
that's
on,
so
it creeped me out.
creepy.
So it would sound like somebody was walking. At first I was like, one of the children is up, like Mario or Minnie, and they need us. One of the kids woke up from upstairs.
Well,
listen,
I
the
love that.
Airbnb was great, and I love the area it was at because you honestly could go everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And we're like, it wasn't walking distance, maybe
Mm-mm.
walking distance adjacent, but like it was like a 3-minute car ride. However, I have to say this about the Airbnb: there was some things that were kind of sketch where I'm like,
I don't know, man. I've seen too many movies. I don't know if there's like a hidden room. I don't know if there's like
the tiny door
living here. I don't know what's going on here. There was a wall where I'm knocking and I'm like, I hear an echo. Iridian, that's an echo right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was something going on, but however, we all came out alive. So shout out to that Airbnb, even though it might have been sketchy.
No bed bugs. There was a picture of Jesus in the front foyer. Like it was fine. Yeah, a couple of soy sauce packets in the fridge. That was about it.
Oh yeah, the soy sauce packets, water bottles.
Yeah.
I remember the first thing that we did, we kind of like split up and be like, oh, okay, let's look at every room in the house. And we're like opening doors. Some doors didn't open, and we're like, oh, okay, guess we can't go in there. But there was a tiny room that was upstairs where Mario and I were staying. So Kaycee and Raul were in the master bedroom downstairs. Mario and I were upstairs with like a hall separating us and a bathroom. But there was a tiny little door, and you opened it, and it was like a crawl space. It was really hot in there, really dark, messy. And we were like, all right, if something shady was going to happen,
it's going to be in there.
Yep, it was going to be in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds creepy too. You guys keep saying that it was very nice and you have no complaints, but then you keep adding little creepy things.
It was nice, Betty. It really was. It was for
outside it looked great.
Yeah.
And every time we would like drive coming back, like when we would be like, let's go back home, right? It was like an episode of Catfish where I'm like, look in the windows, you know, like what's going on here, you know, where's the catfish?
I know. Iridian kept people watching outside her window.
So the Airbnb had the second story. That's where we were at. But like a lot of the houses didn't in that neighborhood. So I could open my window and I saw into the neighbor's house. Like I saw their roof situation. I saw they had a ladder in their yard. I could see people getting ready in the house next to them. So there was just not a lot of privacy for other people.
There was a house party during all the weekend too.
That's true. They were having a party next door and didn't invite us. So I mean, it's fine. But other than that, it was like super quiet neighborhood.
Yeah. And we also afterwards, you were really good at finding places to eat. So shout outs to you, because I made the itinerary, but Kaycee really filled it up. So with good places, good eats, and that barbecue place really hit the spot. It was so good.
That looked so good.
Yeah. If you're in Texas, you have to have Texas barbecue at least one night. We made it the first night. I mean, that's one thing Raul and I are really good at. Like, if we're going to travel somewhere, we're going to eat good. So you can always guarantee that we're going to have some good meals. And we definitely did had a lot of great meals on our trip the past couple of days.
The service was great too at that place. Also, remember that guy, the server that made like the homemade like hot sauce for me? He was like, we don't have hot sauce, but I could do this. I was like, yeah. And he gave me like two little, I don't know what you call it, at least two little gimmicks with the sauce or whatever. And I'm like, yo, this guy's the real MVP of this place.
Oh yeah, that barbecue place is great. We got this dessert, Teddy. It was a tres leches banana pudding. So it had what was the caramel sauce that was drizzled on top of it, and then it had there you go. It had like a little dulce de leche over it, and then it had those like Mexican vanilla cookies on top. It was so good. But he gave us one portion. He was like, that's not big enough, and he gave us another portion for free. So like, yeah, our waiter was really great at that barbecue place.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm so glad that you guys had a good time. Even eating. That did look really delicious for real.
It was delicious. Fantastic. Good job, Hurtado Barbecue.
So we went to eat and we went back to the Airbnb and got ready for karaoke, which we were, I guess we didn't really know what to expect, but we got there.
I mean, you kind of had an idea of what to expect. Bunch of wrestling fans in one room.
We'll get there, but
what I will say, it was nicer than I imagined.
Yes.
So we got to the Sheridan, and mind you, Texas was hot. Okay, Texas was hot all weekend. It was honestly disrespectful how hot it was. But we'll get to that when we talk about StarCast, because I have issues. So we got to karaoke. It's at the Sheridan. I had been there before. And, you know, we saw like the preview stuff for StarCast. So they had like the AEW tables out. They had the Double or Nothing the chip, the little like chip for
Double or Nothing.
Yes. And they also had like some setup of the the ring. They had an ROH little setup. So we were like, oh, this is cute. Oh my God, this is what we're going to see tomorrow. So we were excited. We go upstairs and Ref Aubrey was the one that was checking you in. And you walked in, you paid for a little token, a little sticker to get a drink. So that didn't that didn't make any sense. But we got there and there was a lot going on, right, Kaycee? Like the people were performing already.
Definitely. Like, so it was $20 just to get in, which I mean is a pretty reasonable price for like an exclusive event. And the tickets sold out like before we even got to Dallas. Like we had bought ours maybe a couple weeks before the trip. And then when I went to go check out the StarCast tickets, it was already a sold out event. And then it was $75 if you wanted to actually sing with a wrestler, which I was like, like I like singing, but like if you don't know which wrestler you're gonna sing with and you don't know what song you're gonna do, I was like, but you know, now looking back at it, I should have just like pulled the trigger. It would have been fun to do. I mean, because I could have sung with Bryan Danielson. Didn't know that was an option. But I mean, there were a lot of people. It didn't smell, which was nice because, you know, any wrestling event, you're always kind of like hesitating because it's an evening event. So you're like, they can't be that smelly by the evening.
Yeah. Okay.
You had time to go home and get ready or go to your hotel and get ready. So, I mean, it was actually surprisingly like it smelled nice in there. It wasn't overcrowded. There was 2 bars. But yeah, the ticketing thing was weird. Like they should have said like, oh, cash bar, or they should have had some kind of like option to like pay with credit card.
Yeah, it was very confusing, the whole ticket gimmick. I think they should have just had that one bar to the left, like card only, and then just had the other bar to the right, like cash. It would have been so much simpler than, hey, I need to go in this line to get a ticket, and then I take my little ass ticket to this bar, and then I could get a drink.
Exactly.
It felt a little bit too convoluted.
I will say I'm going to give kudos to Aubrey because like when she was like checking us in, she pointed at me and she was like, "Are you a Heels member?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." She's like, "Oh, you should totally be a Heels member. Like you would enjoy." Like she was already like doing her little sales pitch. I'm like, "Ma'am, I already bought the ticket. I'm here. I'm here at the event. Like you don't need to sell me." But she was like, "Oh, like you should be a Heels member. Like there's so many." I was like, "Okay, you've got a line behind you." But I mean, kudos to her, man. She was selling it.
We're trying to sell you a condo on the side, Kaycee.
You want timeshare?
Yeah, timeshare.
Yeah, I mean, it was so fun. Like, it was just fun. You could tell the wrestlers were having a good time. You could tell the wrestling fans were being moderately respectful. So kudos to them too for not going too crazy. I mean, some of them went a little wild. But
we got to do better as men. That's what I'm going to say. We got to do better as men because Thunder Rosa was out there singing and, you know, she's having a great time. And then she gets on the dance floor because there was like this little floor gimmick, right? Where a lot of people were like, you know, just there was a good crowd of men, right? And prior to that, you know, Thunder Rosa got there and then she was telling everybody to come. And I was just I said this to Iridian, I said this to both Kaycee and Ro. I'm like, look at this. What are we doing here? Like, you just see a storm of men going in there, and Thunder Rosa just came out of there. She just ran out of there because everybody's just playing grab asses. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we just got to do better as men. Like, just because a woman says, like, hey, come to the dance floor doesn't give you an excuse to be a creep. I'm sorry.
I think we need you at like every wrestling event.
There you go.
Like we need we need a man to say what you just said, Mario, because the minute you said men, I know. I
mean, that's one thing.
We got to be better. That's all.
That's one thing that's always shocked me about these AEW events and those StarCast events is like the wrestlers are very accessible, almost to a fault, to where it's like, you know, we as wrestling fans, we're respectful. We see one, we're like, we're not going to go bombard them. We're not going to try to force them to take pictures if it's not like an actual meet and greet or whatever. But there are some wrestling fans that don't understand or respect boundaries. And at certain events, you'll just see them walking around and like, they're just there to enjoy the event too. Like they're just at their hotel because most of them are staying there at that actual hotel. But some of the wrestling fans were just like going up to them, taking photos, trying to like get them to talk. And you could tell like when it was an uncomfortable situation that they can't really get out of. So it's like we need to be better, like Mario was saying, as wrestling fans, not just to the female wrestlers, but just to the wrestlers in general. Like they're people and they're staying there. And like, would you want to be bothered at your hotel? Probably not. So like leave them the fuck alone.
I'm with you, Kaycee.
And unless the wrestlers like the infantry, you know, who they sung, I think, Fat Lip, they jumped into the crowd, and they had like, there was like a little like mosh pit situation going on, but they jumped into the crowd, and that's when they want interaction, right? Otherwise, everything is then unsolicited, like unless people ask for it. But man, there was like some really top-notch performers, and I knew Takeshita when he got on stage. I had seen
he was there to perform.
From prior karaoke's, he said, "This is my night, okay? I'm stealing the show." If there was awards for that night, Takeshita won, okay? He did The Cure's Friday I'm in Love. Beautiful, perfection. I had no notes, but Mario was even like, I feel like it was just such a wholesome performance. What did you say? Like you felt like you were a better person just watching?
I felt like I was a better person after seeing Takeshita perform, and it was like, and I even told Raul, I'm like, when I think of karaoke, this is what I kind of envision, like Takeshita singing. Like it just, Takeshita's a great guy, all right? You know, even though he's part of the Don Callis family and he's a heel, and I'm using quotations here, it's like, who doesn't love Takeshita?
It was such a sweet performance.
There
you could tell he was singing to his wife, and
who his wife was also there. Like beautiful couple. And we had seen her the next day in Ring of Honor for perfection, amazing match that she had. But they just had so many great stuff. Like there was so many performers. Jay Lethal was there doing Macho Man singing impressions.
Of course.
To Love Shack, that one was good.
I know. I told you guys, I'm like, not for nothing, but him with the Macho Man voice doing Love Shack is kind of better than the original song.
Yeah, we need an actual recording.
I thought you were going to say that was better than his original voice doing the song.
I mean, no comment.
Kaycee, did you have a performer that kind of like stood out to you or a favorite from karaoke?
Takeshita was definitely like, he was the best singer, like hands down the whole night. Willow did a great job as well. She was awesome. I mean, some of those people that paid the $75 to sing with the wrestlers, like, I feel like they were just so in shock of like being on stage with the wrestler. Like they didn't even get to fully experience it. They got really nervous. But I think there was a couple that were really good. The one that was kind of awkward was with -1 singing Baby Got Back with some of the other wrestlers. I was like, that kid's a minor. Why is he up there?
What? I did not know about that.
I am not going to comment on that. I had some commentary the day of when we were watching this. Teddy, I will tell you off there. But I have some comments on that. What was that song, Kaycee? Because I asked you guys, what is this shit? I feel like it was after break stuff with the infantry and the fan that they sang. It was some country song, and then everybody just completely went to the bar after that because it just killed the mood in the room.
They sang "Live Life Like You Were Dying," like that country song. And it was very like, it was ballad, like it's a ballad song. I mean, like in another setting, it probably would have like done well, but everybody is like wanting to do like these hype songs. I think karaoke, like just karaoke in general, like you really have to think about what song you're going to do and if it's going to be well received by the crowd, because the crowd wants to be participatory like as well. So if you pick something that's like slow or sad, like people aren't going to be into it, and then you're going to lose the crowd. And I think they definitely lost the crowd with that song. Like people are like, okay, time to go to the bar. Like
that's what we did. I think that was our bathroom break.
Yeah, that was our bathroom break. I was like, all right, I'm done. But yeah, I think Bryan Danielson doing Genie in a Bottle, like that was top tier as well. Like was not expecting it, and it was fantastic. He did even like dance moves and stuff. Like, okay, Brian.
He was into it. He was definitely into it.
That fan got their $75.
I was going to say, he wasn't advertised. The people who are on the poster are Thunder Rosa, Takeshita, Hobbs, the Outrunners, Brian Keith, and Big Bill. So everyone else was a surprise. Willow was a surprise. Bryan Danielson even showing up there, we were like, whoa, like that's crazy. So that person.
Will Ospreay.
Oh, Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
And they did a duet. They got their $65 worth. Absolutely.
Wait, who did a duet?
Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson.
What? That's dope.
Backstreet Boys?
Yeah, I
I
think
think so.
so.
Yeah, Will
Okay.
Ospreay was by then he might have been in his 4th or 5th drink.
He was having a good time,
good for
bro.
him. He was having a great time. I'm not knocking him. But,
Mhm.
yeah.
Also, Thunder Rosa did her own like performance. Last Dance, 10 out of 10. Mario, I think she was hosting the event, so I thought she did a great job.
She did, and she also did backup for Jay Lethal with Love Shack, because
Love
the
Shack.
lady that was singing with them, I don't know if her mic didn't work or she wasn't trying. I don't know what was going on there, but Thunder Rosa definitely gave in the hot tag for that performance.
She was a great hostess for sure.
It was
So,
so much fun.
would you guys do it again? Would you guys
Oh,
go to
1000%.
another Okay.
For sure.
1000%.
I'm paying the
Okay.
$75. I want to sing with
So
somebody.
next, I hope I'm there. I hope I'm there, Kaycee.
Yes, for
That's
sure.
very ballsy. I don't know if I would do that.
That's what I'm saying. But like some people really like with that surprise Bryan Danielson, $75, that's a steal. People would pay so much more money to just stand on stage with him, not even sing.
I was
That
gonna
is
say that's
true.
cheaper than like the professional photo. And then you get an actual video of you duetting with Bryan Danielson. Like that's awesome.
Facts. It's longer than 15 seconds. You might be onto something.
Exactly. It's a steal.
Yeah. Well, that was our Thursday. It was honestly such a fun time. We left, and the next day, Friday, was Starcast. So we're like, oh, we have a long day ahead of us. And a long day it was, okay? Literally everything was melting. I made friendship bracelets for us, and they were made out of like they're like this nylon kind of like cord string. And how you set everything is you have to burn it so the like fabric melts and it just connects to each other. So it was so hot in Texas that connection just like undid itself. So my bracelets were undone, best friend.
What?
Undone. We got to Starcast. It was so hot that I had my little bag over my shoulder. I had an iron-on patch. It took itself from my bag and stuck to my arm. Like it undid the sticking because it was so hot. The glue melted.
Wait, how hot was it again? Because I remember you telling me the temperature.
It was
Or
like
I-
90s.
Or you
It would
said,
be like
maybe
99, 98, like in the car. Like it, so obviously it was like probably felt like in the triple digits more than likely because
Crazy.
the humidity's terrible in Texas.
Okay.
So we went to breakfast before and I got a Texas shaped waffle, chicken and waffles. Great, 10 out of 10. Also another Kaycee find. I'm telling you, Kaycee got all the good eats. And all
What's that called? The biscuit?
Oh, Biscuit Bar. We went to Biscuit Bar on Friday. Yeah.
It was great. It was 10 out of 10. I wish I was looking at the picture the other day. I was like, man, I could go for one right now. But
Give me one of them biscuits. Yeah.
yes, but let's talk about Starcast, Mario. I know you had a lot of feelings. So we got there, and then what happened?
What happened, Mario?
Listen, I love Conrad. You know, I love his
Conrad
podcast. I
runs
think
the
he's
event, right?
yeah, Conrad Thompson. You know, I would love to say shout outs to him, but this Starcast wasn't it. Okay, it just wasn't it. It just I don't know. It felt like a money grab. I think that's the best way to describe it. Unfortunately, I think it was poor placement. I think they oversold tickets. Where certain stuff should have been, maybe move it somewhere else. When you have lines outside, like you were at Six Flags or Disney World to get on a ride just to take a photo op. Like, do you think we want to take photos op with sweat and just tired and heat flashes and it's just a mess. It was a mess. And I think if they would have just changed a couple things around because listen, nobody's going to the panels. I'm sorry. All right. You have like very minimal people going to the panels. All right. You have a whole bunch of maybe like a little core of 20 peckerheads in a big ass room watching these panels. All right. Then you have like 50, 60 people in this tiny ass room for the meet and greets. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It felt like a money grab, and we got to do better. They got to do better. Conrad and company has to do better. And I hate to put my boy Conrad on blast like that, but this Starcast was an utter disaster.
So we got there and we have our tickets on our phone, ready to be scanned, ready to go in. And they're like, oh, you actually need a wristband. And we're like, a wristband? Okay. where do you get that? And we had seen when we were walking up, there was lines all the way to the outside, and we were making fun of those people.
Look at those losers out there standing in the sun.
I was like, man, it's so hot. These guys are standing outside. That's crazy. And lo and behold, they're like, oh, that's the line for the wristbands. Which people were also in line for meet and greets. I think Tony Storm was having a meet and greet, and Sting, they was also doing his at the same time, but they were like off to a different side. But the lines kind of connected at some point, and we had to get in the back of the line to wait and get our wristbands. And we were in there for like an hour, maybe 30 minutes before we actually got into the building, just standing outside in this Texas heat that was undoing glues. And it was just so uncomfortable. And I know people, and we didn't put sunscreen on.
Because I was like, we're not going to stand outside that long. Sorry. Hit me with a congratulations. But I was like, don't worry, you guys, don't pack sunscreen. We're not going to be outside that long.
We all got hit with the congratulations because the second we were like, damn, what's up with this line or whatever, talking all this shit. And they was like, yeah, that's just the line to get our wristband. Instantly hit us with the button. Because, man, we were like, fuck. And then I was like, shit. I was like, I need to go back and grab I had like, one of them string book bag things, like little, so I had deodorant in there and, whatever to smell decent, because it's like, I didn't know we were going to be outside in this sweat box, right? It was just bad. And then even inside, there was no ventilation. Like, it just felt very like humid in there. And
not you didn't even have the AC on for y'all?
They probably did, but they had the doors open for the line to continue from the outside pool area inside to get your wristband. So they had those open from the pool area and bar into the inside of the lobby. So like, even if they did have the AC at full blast, like, you have heat coming in from people coming into the hotel and those doors being open. And then there was a lot of windows to that lobby area. So it was just hot inside and outside. I mean, kudos to us for always reapplying deodorant, because we were going to beat that stigma of stinky wrestling fan. Like, why are we going to fit that stereotype?
Yeah. I'm sure you guys did not smell. Please.
Listen, the amount of deodorant we reapplied, I'm sure we were not smelling. But how we looked, well, we were prepared to meet Hangman. Okay, we were going to meet Hangman that day. But I don't think we met Hangman as we imagined ourselves, because we were just in the sun for so long. We were sweating, like there was so much humidity. Our hair did not look like it looked like when we left the house, I'll say that. And neither was our body temperature. It was so much hotter. And Kaycee and I at one point, I mean, this was, I guess, before. Anyway, I'll get to that point. But we finally get our wristbands, and then they give us a little piece of paper. And that little piece of paper is everybody who's free. And
$3.99.
$3.99. Get to take a picture with these wrestlers, and we're like, oh wow, they had like Blake Christian on here, Jay Lethal, Commander, our favorite, Red Velvet, Max Caster, just some freebies, right? And they're like, oh, just show them this, and they'll like check that person off, and then you can take more pictures with the next free person.
Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found at all.
We didn't
found anybody.
Single person on this. And it didn't even say what table they were going to be at, what section. At some point, I saw Max Caster signing, but he was at the upper deck table where they made us our trading cards, which Teddy, I know you and me collect trading cards, but that's where they were. They had him signing, but everyone else we didn't see at all. So we go upstairs and there's a coffin.
Forgot about that.
There's a casket just outside, and I was like, prop? Not a prop. No, it was just there. I don't know what's happening there. So there's a casket, and then next to it is a door, and that's where the karaoke room was, which now became the panel room. And you had to pay extra to go into the panels, which was stupid.
That's insane.
If we're already there, just let me in. Like,
well, it was such a big space, and so if only certain people were allowed in there, it wasn't getting filled to capacity. And so that was just wasted space that could have held all the wrestlers that they were wanting to have meet and greets at, because they put all the meet and greets in like this conference room upstairs. Like, it was so small.
Yeah, it was very tiny. It didn't make any sense. And right next to it was like a little hallway, and in that hallway they were selling like drawings and action figures, but again, it was not like the biggest room. And the final room that they had was one where all the wrestlers' tables were, and they weren't there for all day. So like Joey Janela was set up in the hallway. Matt Cardona, was it Matt Cardona?
Matt Cardona, James Storm.
They were also set up outside in like the hall, not where the rest of the wrestlers were.
Right.
So I'm just like,
They were
what?
shoving people everywhere.
Okay,
I
I have
swapped the rooms, like where the meet and greets were at and where the panels were at, right? If they would have just switched those rooms, like just so you could get like kind of like a better like idea of like the room comparisons. Think of where the meet and greets were at was a regular conference room, right? Where karaoke and where the panels were being held, that looked like a little ballroom.
It was a ball.
So it's a big difference in size. Like if you would have just swapped those, I think it would have helped out a lot.
It would have made so much sense. But like the people were in line for random things, and we were like, "Oh, what are you in line for?" We had to ask each other questions.
I hated that
because there was no signage saying like, "Hey, all of the wrestlers are in here," or this is the free meet and greets, or here the merch is on this side. No signage, so everyone was kind of like it was a free for all. Everyone's on their own, and then it was so loud because there was no separation from the first floor to the second floor. It was kind of just open space, and on the first floor they were having other little panels
for free.
Yeah, for free, which was just like, what's going on?
It was very overstimulating very quickly because it was hot, crowded, and loud. Like I was like, I need to get out of here.
So then we got out of there.
Yeah.
I think so. What came first? Us getting a drink at the bar or us going to get slushies?
We went slushies first.
Yeah. Okay. So we got our things and we're like, all right, well, we don't meet Hangman until 3. What do we do till then? Because there really wasn't anything to do there unless we stayed and watched panels for 2 hours. So we left and we went to Sonic and we went back to the Airbnb to freshen up.
We needed a break. We needed a break.
I love that.
We needed a break.
We needed a break. We like freshened up. I redid my curls because they had fallen in the heat. And just for them to fall again before I met Hangman, lovely. Oh. So curled my hair and we were like, all right, cool. We're all dressed, smelling fresh again. And we're cooled down. Great choice to go get slushies. And then we go back. And at this point, we're like looking at people's lines and trying to find more free 99 people. We didn't find anybody. We did, however, take our trading card pictures, which trading cards were amazing. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with mine. Just pure obsession with my trading card.
That was like one positive of StarCast. And I'll even and I'll give it half because when we got there, they were closed. Because they're like, oh, we're closing down because Max Caster's coming to sign.
What a loser! For Max Caster, really? This is what we're doing?
So we go get in line finally to meet Hangman, and then we're just standing there for a while. And then Kaycee was like, oh, like now would be the time to go and change. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go back to the car. And there were some things about this rental, some issues. But Kaycee and I have the keys. We're walking, and then at one point, Casey's like, "Wait, where did we park?" And I was like, "Where are we?" It was like confusing, and Kaycee was like, "I think we parked over there." So we walk over there, and I was like, "Kaycee, I don't think we parked over here." And then I'm like retracing my steps in my brain, and I know Casey's also doing that, and we're both like, I don't know. I guess I don't know what the car is, and she's hitting the little alarm, and we're not hearing anything.
Nope.
So we're just like, okay, maybe if we're like extra quiet, we'll hear something. Maybe we're too far away for the signal to reach. I don't know what's happening. But we start walking towards, they had this little helipad outside. And I was like, I don't know if we were by the helipad either. And Casey's like, I don't remember walking over here. And I was like, where are we? Where's our car?
It's a mess.
And if you guys watch the vlog, which is on our Rest Friends YouTube channel right now, you will see that how long it took for us to find this car. Because it didn't beep. The car did not beep. The little thing was not working, and it also horn wasn't working either.
Yeah, horn wasn't working, alarm wasn't working. When we picked it up, it was it was low on one tire. So when we picked up Mario from the airport, we all had to go to a gas station to pump one of the tires. So don't rent from Easy Rent. Don't rent your cars from Easy Rent. This is my promotion. Don't do that. Stick with Enterprise. Stick with any of the other rental places. Don't rent from Easy Rent. They were terrible.
I mean, not for nothing, but with a name like Easy Rent, I'm like, ah.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It was Expedia. Expedia showed us the cheapest option, and that was the cheapest one. So, I mean, it got us to where we needed to go. The car still works.
Once we found it. Once we found it. But if we needed to honk at anybody, we were out of luck. But so when Kaycee and I got prepped, then we walked back, and she had to call Raul before because we couldn't find the car. But once we got it. So walking back to our space, and we're like, we wonder if the guys have moved. They hadn't moved, but we had saw Hangman walk into where he was supposed to be, and we're like, all right, cool. We're about to start moving. We're about to start getting somewhere. It was just so sunny. It was so hot. There was a friend that we made who was in front of us in line from Oklahoma. So we called him Oklahoma. Shout outs to you, sir.
Shout outs to Oklahoma.
He's a great kid. 10
out of 10. Great guy. He followed us back on all social medias. So we appreciate him for that.
Mm-hmm.
But
shout outs to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yes. We were just in line for so long. I had my little fan out. We were going like this. We couldn't see anything. I think Mario said he wanted a hat at one point. Like there was so much.
We were taking turns sitting down. It wasn't like a bench.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like this little, I don't know even what to call it.
Yeah.
Like it was like a step gimmick, and people were just sitting there. Because by the way, and then here's the tease, right? These lines are in front of a swimming pool where everybody's like, I just want to jump in there right now.
Mm-hmm. Put my feet in there, something.
Wait. When you guys were waiting for Hangman, part of the line was also outside?
Oh, this was
the whole line was outside.
The whole line was outside. So technically, we were meeting at Hangman at like a pool house right next.
Oh my God.
That had nothing to do with inside. If you wanted to meet and greet, we're all outside.
Oh, I'm sorry, but he was smelling the sweat. I'm sorry.
Poor man. I know. That's why I felt so bad.
What was
my gosh.
Like once you got into the little pool house for the meet and greets, air conditioned.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You felt the ventilation the second you stepped foot.
Yeah. They kept them cool. Sure. Well, and we didn't even mention how we were all in this just giant line, and then some lady, which poor woman, poor StarCast volunteers, because I'm sure this is more than they signed up for. They made them separate for VIP and general admission. So all the VIPs got to go do their photo ops first, and then we were in the general admission line, which they were about the same length. But it was just like, it was stupid because they didn't tell you that in the beginning, so everybody was just kind of jumbled, and then we all had to kind of like separate. But I mean,
and this lady kept on just yelling out like, last call for Jim Ross, like, for the Jim Ross like photo op or whatever. And you know how we mentioned our little buddy Oklahoma? Well, like after I got to meet Paragon like later on, so after that, when we were waiting our photos, that lady was like wrapping up, and she was like bringing shit down or whatever, and this kid has some pretty good comedic timing. So he yells at the girl. He's like, "Hey, is it too late for me to do my Jim Ross photo op?" And the girl goes like, "Fight me."
Yeah, poor lady. I mean, they were definitely understaffed, and I know they probably have volunteer staff that help out with StarCast, but it was definitely understaffed, and they had all of those StarCast volunteers kind of like doing double duty, but they weren't equipped. Like they didn't have any microphones. They had like one microphone, I think, but they could have done with like a megaphone. Or signs, like anything would have helped them kind of usher everybody in the direction they needed to go. But again, it goes back to that poor planning. Like,
yeah. And like you mentioned the signs again, signage would have been such a great help. Like everybody had either VIP or GA, just here's two lines. And this is the person, at least put a picture of the wrestler, like who's going to be there at the meet and greet, because everyone was asking everyone like, oh, like what line are you in? Who are you meeting? And they were even announcing like, oh, make sure you're in the right line. Ask your neighbor. Like, I shouldn't be having to ask my neighbor. We all smell right now. Like,
I don't want to talk to them. They were like, oh, like if you're feeling dizzy from the heat, or if you need to take a step out, like talk to your neighbors, talk to the people in line, like let them know. And I was like, why are they like in charge of my health? Like, that's so weird. It was odd that they were telling us to talk to the people in line if we needed to step out of line. Like, it was just a mess.
Like, what did you guys pay for then? Like, if they're gonna be charging for you guys to even attend the event, like they should have been more prepared for you guys. It does sound like a shit show. I did not think it was gonna be that bad.
It was a money grab, 1000%.
Right. I wonder if like, okay, because I know you guys say that. I know that Conrad is the one that's in charge. I wonder how much of it really is like the organizer's fault, and then how much is also the hotel's fault.
So we heard a little cheese man when we were in line. I'm not gonna say it on here, but I'll tell you afterwards. But yeah, it definitely
Okay.
A lot going on.
Yeah, there was a lot going on, and it wasn't a lot of complaints, and I'll leave it there.
Okay.
And
I
from
understand.
seeing a lot of social media, I know a lot of people were complaining.
Like, I understand wanting to use the Sheraton because the talent's staying there, so it might make it more convenient for them to be able to make their meet and greets. Like, I understand the convenience of having everything all in one place, but that hotel just was not set up for that type of event, that large of an event. When we did All Out in Chicago, it wasn't a Sheraton, it was a different hotel, right? It was
it was a different one. But even then, you know, like you mentioned,
that one was big.
We're staying there, and it made sense because it was set up for bigger spaces.
It was large. It was a large space, and the hotel was there, but it was a larger space that could really accommodate everything that they were offering. And really, that space, I remember us going to that All Out where like it was just so spaced out. Like, it was this huge room, and it had so much space. It seemed like everything else seemed so small in comparison, where this was the exact opposite problem, where it was like this was too tiny of a space, and they had too much shoved into one area. It was just not set up for success.
They should also put a cap on tickets.
Yes.
Like, after a certain amount of people, like per day, all right, well, we can't have any more because it's just too many people.
Yeah, it was insane. And even like splitting up that VIP and GA, the line was moving pretty slow. And at one point, somebody had to come out and tell us, like, hey, remember, this is a photo op. This is not a meet and greet. And we were like, oh, like, I guess people are taking too much time with Hangman, as like people are going to do with any wrestler, right? They're going to chat people up, maybe get an autograph secretly somehow. But after they said that, I'll tell you what, the line started moving.
It really did.
Sped
but
up.
can we talk about how wonderful Hangman was, though?
What a great guy. What a great guy.
Teddy, you picked the best favorite wrestler because he really is just...
I know.
You're like,
I know.
I'm kind of my choice.
The girls pushed me. The girls pushed me. They were like, you first, Mara, you first. You start off the conversation, whatever. I was like, fine, I'll do it. No problem. And, you know, with the little time that he gave to all of us individually, he made it worth it. You know, even if it was for a couple seconds, he looked right at you and he was so appreciative, and he made you feel like appreciative that you came to see him, right? And I actually told him, like, hey man, it's great seeing you, like I love you, bro, like you're one of us, like you're a Latino, like we're claiming you now. Like, that's what I told him, and he started laughing, and I was like, you got this weekend. And I'm sure, you know, everybody else has like a different story, but kind of like the same support, and you could really feel the love for Hangman.
It was such a nice like moment. I don't know, we were like nervous once we were getting in there. We're like, all right, like this is happening. Kaycee, you had made him some stuff, so he had a little section too of like people who were giving him things. He had like a little section off to the side where he was putting like his collection of things that fans were giving him, and I'm sure he felt all of that love too, because from friendship bracelets to cards to photos, like people were giving him so many things, and he was literally like trying to be, hi, how are you? Like, Kaycee, I think he introduced himself to you, right?
I was so nervous. So like I was behind Mario, and so I was hi, and he was like, hi, I'm Hangman Adam Page. I was like, I know who you are. Like I know. And like I already had like my little speech prepared because I was already so nervous meeting him. He like immediately was like, hi, I'm Hangman, and he's like, I love your boots. Can I borrow those boots? And I was like just staring at him. I was like, I made you a card. Like, I didn't even respond to him like talking about my outfit. Like, he was actually making a compliment. And so I gave it to him. I was like, this is just something to say, like, your Spanish promo was so inspirational. Like, thank you for doing that. And then like I handed it off to the lady. But it was so genuine. He's just such a kind like aura. Like, as soon as you walked in, you knew that he was happy to see all of us. And it never felt like, okay, let's get this over with, or hey, how are you? Like, whatever. But he wanted to like individually greet us and acknowledge our presence in that room. So it was what a great man.
And even with the 4 of us in a picture, which I don't think anyone else took like a 4-person picture with him. I think the most was like 2, but he literally was like, making sure that he said hi to all of us, and he looked great in the picture, though we did not look our best. We
look cute.
You all look great.
10 out of 10. We could have looked 11 out of. We did look 11 out of 10 when we left the house, though. I'll say that. Well, we only looked 10 out of 10 when we were Hangman. But just a great time. And even though it was super, super quick, it was just a beautiful moment. And I'll always.
It was a great experience. We told so before we even went up, I told Raul, I'm like, we're gonna have the girls be next to Hangman. We'll just be out to the side. And Raul was like 1,000%. That's what we're doing.
Which I love that, because I had already told Kaycee that we had made that executive decision. I was like, I want
closest in proximity to him. Yeah,
to be out the side. So I'm glad that they also made that decision on there.
Raul said all he did was grab like a handful of his fringe. He just had some of his fringe in the jar. He's like, I just grabbed some fringe and held on. I was like, okay.
But he's such a great guy. He really is. And then afterwards, when we took the picture and we're excited, like we got to chop it up with Hangman, even if it was just for like a minute or two.
Yeah.
We were waiting for our photo, and I was already off to the side because I was gonna meet Paragon, the Undisputed Era, right? So I was trying to like wait to see what line it was. So I was off to the side, and then after Hangman did all the photo ops or whatever, he came out and obviously he got an ovation, a lot of clapping, a lot of Hangman cowboy shit. And I was like, yo, you got this, bro. You got this, bro, tomorrow. You know what this man says to me? He goes like, God bless you. I really appreciate it. It's like, come on, how can you not love this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels very sincere when he's talking to you. Yeah. And I think that's why we all love him. And that's why he's the face of AEW. Yeah. He's the main guy. He's the main guy in that company. And I'm just so happy for him.
Yeah. Let me see some of these comments on here. Master Thunder, thanks so much for joining us. He said he introduced himself to me too. Super nice dude. It's just like this is what you want from somebody who is going to represent your company. And I know a lot of people have their signs at the shows now that say Hangman Adam Page is the heart and soul of AEW.
1000%.
And absolutely, I believe that. This guy has been through so much and has taken us on the journey with him. And I know at All In, which we'll talk about in a little bit, he said, he's gone through a lot this weekend. He's cried, and he's like, I met a lot of you guys yesterday. And we were like,
talking about us.
It's crazy, man. Just what a wonderful man. And I was telling Kaycee and Mario Restaurant, I was like, man, it has to be so hard for Teddy right now. Because if my favorite wrestler was on top of the world right now, like Hangman is, and he was getting all this love, like I couldn't handle it. Let me tell you, if
the jealousy,
if Takeshita right now was like where Hangman is, I can't handle it. You're telling me everyone's going up to him and telling him they love him? No, can't do it.
I don't talk about it. I don't have anything appropriate to say. People will think I'm crazy. I just don't talk about it.
But you know what, Teddy? The whole time we were like, "This is Teddy's favorite wrestler." I
we
love
thinking
Hangman.
About you the whole time.
I was like, "I love Hangman," but I know that that's Teddy's favorite wrestler. Like, don't you worry, girl. Like,
I really appreciate that. I'm not gonna say that it's not necessary because it's absolutely necessary.
No, exactly.
I want everyone to remember.
Because like we need to know. You need to know. Like we can appreciate him. But that's Teddy's favorite. Like, don't you worry. Just like John Morrison is my favorite, John Hennigan and Helico. Like, y'all know.
Oh, y'all know putting it out there right now too. You're taking the opportunity to let everyone know. Just letting you know these are mine.
Yeah, just letting you know. Y'all can appreciate. Y'all can love. But as far as favorites, we know.
Yes. Okay. No, yeah, guys. I mean, I'm really, really, really happy that you guys got to meet them, especially Edie, because Edie has watched me meet him and she didn't meet him. So to me, it was like, best friend, like, I don't think I ever told you you should meet him.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think my ego would have let you say that. I would have let me tell you that, but I am glad that you did, and I, how nice he is in person. I've only met him 2 times, but he was very, very great. So I could imagine how you guys felt at the moment. Like he just makes you feel very like he's not just this big star and you're a nobody. He makes you feel like you're part of his group, I guess, in that moment. I don't know.
Kaycee, people agree with you that Johnny Television and MXM are 10 out of 10.
Yeah, Johnny TV is my numero uno. Y'all didn't tell me he was at Collision.
Yeah.
I was watching last night and I was like, oh, Teddy and Iridian didn't tell me he came out.
Oops.
That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. I found out after the fact.
I got footage for you. I meant to send it to you because
Okay.
I honestly forgot I've recorded stuff from Collision. And then
Yeah.
I was looking back yesterday and I was like, oh my God, I have TikToks. I have TikToks here. Let's go.
To be fair, we were paying attention to Taya, so maybe that's why, since it was her match, So
We were so excited to see her because we don't get to see her often.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
So good.
But
we'll get to
I
that.
also have photos.
yeah, we'll
You.
send them over.
I got you. Yeah.
But let's talk about this pay-per-view. It's I guess you, Mario, you also mentioned it on your episode that just dropped, Lucha Outsiders podcast, guys, Lucha Outsiders Show. I was listening. Yeah, Ring of Honor. We went to Ring of Honor last minute. We were kind of pending on are we going, are we not going, because we were waiting to hear back from people. But we ended up going
last minute
last
after
minute.
a fantastic dinner. And yeah, Ring of Honor. If there's anything to say about Ring of Honor, is I get like, it's like haha Ring of Honor now because it's under the AEW umbrella, and Ring of Honor hasn't really felt like Ring of Honor like the last couple of years, whatever you want to call it. After they got Ring of Honor after year one under the AEW umbrella, Ring of Honor really hasn't felt like Ring of Honor, right? But this show was great. But if there's anything to point out, is that main event between Takeshita and Bandito. That match was incredible. We were on the edge of our seat the whole time. I think everybody was standing for like the last 10 minutes of that match.
Oh yeah.
And they drew a good house for that show. So I mean, listen, I can't speak on what's gonna happen with Ring of Honor going forward. But if there's anything to light a fire on that brand, it was that main event. That main event was incredible. And also shout outs to the women with Thunder Rosa and Athena. They banger as well. That whole show was really good.
Yeah, fantastic. I was gonna mention the women too, like Thunder Rosa and Athena. Oh, there was so many close calls. It literally could have gone to anybody. I'm glad, Athena kept it, but man, Thunder Rosa put up a fight. And yeah, Bandito, the way that he's been performing, he is on the road to be just one of the best wrestlers. Like this guy is fantastic. And seeing him in that match, like we were on our feet. We couldn't believe it. There was so many near falls, and he came out looking amazing. His entrance was spectacular.
Oh my God, that gear. It's absolutely.
And let me, and I gotta say this too. The legs, there was a lot of leggage in this match. A lot of leggage, all right? Bandito decided to go completely left with his gear. He looked great, don't get me wrong. But there was a lot of leggage, a lot of thigh slapping.
It was such a good time. So honorable mention to Ring of Honor. And now let's get to this pay-per-view, this long-awaited event. And man, what a show. What a beautiful venue to have it at. Just the moment we walked in, you could see the show. You saw it was out in the open. It was just so beautiful. Mario, what were your thoughts initially when we walked in there?
Well, it's so, and I mentioned it earlier today when I was recording the podcast with Sam, how we were so like excited about how was the stage gonna look, how's it gonna look visually, like before the show even happened. Like I remember, I think it was like the first night we were driving by Globe Life Field, and we were like, oh, can we imagine how that shit's gonna look inside? Like we're gonna have to wait. And then the next day we passed by it again. I'm like, oh my God, it's probably gonna look so incredible, right? And then when you walk in there, it's like a whole new world, right? Not to compare, but if there's anything to compare it to, it felt WrestleMania-esque. It felt bigger than life. The stage was amazing. The pyro looked great. The audience, the crowd, it just felt alive. It felt huge. And even on TV. So that stadium, if I'm not mistaken, holds about 40,000 people roughly, right? I think they drew a little under 30K, which I think is a fantastic number. But just the way it looked, and even if you go back on social media and just catch some clips, like whether it's on TV, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, it looked like a sold out crowd on TV. And that's what you want with a product like that. You want it to look great. You want it to look bigger than life. So it felt very WrestleMania-esque. And I'm just happy with AEW. I'm just so happy that they got to drew a crowd like that. And also, even though it was a long show, the crowd stayed alive for those 6 hours, 7 hours if you watch the pre-show. But there was never any dull moment, at least not being there live. And I don't know, you guys are more on social media than I am, but I didn't really see any people saying like, oh, the crowd was dead or anything like that. No, it felt like the crowd was alive throughout the whole show. And we don't get stuff like that anymore. You know, going back to a couple years ago when WWE wasn't necessarily at the greatest point, those long shows would drag and the crowd would die. Not for All In. That crowd was invested for all those 6 hours in every single match.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I will say. I know Tony Khan gets a lot of flack, but that man knows how to put on a pay-per-view, no matter how long it is. Like, these shows have not disappointed, and it didn't feel like we were in that arena for 6 hours. We were in there for 7, but it didn't feel like that for the duration. I know that's like a long time, but man, the crowd was fantastic. We were invested in every single match, and we were even trying to figure out, all right, when are we going to go to the bathroom? Like, when are our bathroom breaks?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
We don't want to miss the matches. Like, all right, so we have to sacrifice a little bit of the entrances. And, you know, we kind of had to figure that out. Mario, at one point, you ran.
So after Okada and Omega, right, which shout outs to Rush Friends in the last episode, the second Iridian gas, when Teddy goes like, Okada, right? But after Okada won, the second the 3 count hit, I jumped off my seat, hopped off, and just ran. Then I got to hit myself with the bike because I went up the wrong set of stairs, right? But then I found the right set of stairs, and I went to the bathroom, and it was back like less than 5 minutes. Because there's no way I was missing that main event. I wanted to see the entrances. I wanted to see everything.
I think that's one thing we luck out with as women and being wrestling fans is that the bathroom lines are never that long. But for the men... It was like long lines. I was like, what's the line? Is this a merch line? They're like, no, this is for the bathroom. I was like, oh, okay. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so we got there. It was like about an hour before the show. So 0 hour was on. And I think the 8-man tag team was going on with like Dustin and Sammy. So while we were like getting there at the time, we're like, okay, let's find something to eat. Let's get our drink situation. Someone earlier, I know they said it's National Ice Cream Day. It is National Ice Cream Day. We talked about this at work, and I did get ice cream at the show. I got a little drink, and it was from a brand. Kaycee, what brand was it?
Bluebell Homemade Ice Cream. That's a Texas brand.
And they were having drinks that were spiked ice cream. I didn't have the spiked ice cream. I just had the regular one. But man, it was delicious. And we got some chicken tendies. We got fries. I think you guys
fries were frying. The fries were frying.
The fries were good. I got brisket mac and cheese. That was good.
Yeah,
Raul got his jumbo dog. Raul wanted one of those, like, because they had those stadium hot dogs that were really big on the first level, but our seats were like lower down, so we were able to go to another section that had other like food options. And so when Raul ordered his jumbo dog, it was like this little. So
what is it? It's just a little guy.
It's just a little guy. It was just a little hot dog. He was not very happy with his food choice, but that's okay.
It's so funny because we walked back up to the steps and we saw somebody with like a giant hot dog.
That's what I wanted.
I thought that's what I was gonna get.
So, but, I mean, the prices for the food in the actual stadium were actually very reasonable. I was very surprised because when we did WrestleMania right across the pond at AT&T Stadium, I remember we paid $20 for brisket nachos. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, so the pricing for the food was very nice too. Because if we're gonna be there for 6 hours, we got to eat something. Like,
yeah.
And they had a lot of options, which I appreciated, and everything looked good. So, yeah, 10 out of 10 for the food choices arena. But the first match, I believe, was the Trios Championship match.
Mhm.
Yes.
And this was Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Shibata versus the Death Riders, which I don't know how I feel about that since since we saw them kill Cole Cabana. I think that's where I drew the line, Russ Friend.
You're still
Hold on, wait. You drew the line on Cole Cabana.
Yes.
That's where you drew the line.
That's when I was like, this is too far. Out of everything you've done. This
Iridian,
is
how do you feel about the verbal abuse that your man Wheeler Yuta be getting?
all right, hold on, because I just remembered something. So when we were outside of the arena,
Oh yeah.
there was something on people's cars, and Mario was like, yo, Iridian, look, Yuta's on these cars. And I was like, what are you talking about? And this is what people so
Poor
it says
Yuta.
missing dog
What?
reward $1 if found, call 1-800-FIND-YUTA. Which I was like, this is disrespectful.
That is so mean.
And I was like, how dare people? Anyway, I kept it because how could you not keep it?
But you kept
Absolutely. I showed this yesterday on the Collision post show, and the guys were like, you have to have him sign it. But you tell him you
That'd be
didn't.
funny.
You know, the day before, I forgot. I think because I think we all know that Iridian was like a big BCC fan, right? The Blackpool Combat Club, right? So I don't think I ever had this conversation with Iridian, but I asked Iridian, I'm like, all right, so since BCC transitioned to, you know, the Death Riders, are you still like, you know, a Death Riders girly or whatever, right? And she's like, you know, I still like Yuta, whatever, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, you know, Yuta's kind of in a hard situation around. And then Iridian, you know, we all know Iridian loves Wheeler Yuta, and I was like, yeah, you know, I think I think Wheeler Yuta could be champion. I'm like, what, a TNT champion? Iridian.
He couldn't even get through the
Mario.
sentence. Jeez, Mario.
Iridian wanted to kill me. Iridian wanted to kill me. I'm like, what, TNT champion?
Well, when the Death Riders were coming out for that first match, like I went boo instinctively, and then Iridian just turned to me, and I was like, I was saying Buddha, Buddha,
Buddha.
Buddha. So I was like, sorry, like it was just an instinct. I'm sorry, you see Yuta, you gotta boo. Like
I can't.
You see Yuta, you gotta boo.
This is not the way I live my life, guys. You know this. I absolutely love Wheeler Yuta. He is he's been a fantastic Ring of Honor Pure champion twice, longest reigning. Just I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. And
You should have him sign it though.
yes, they told me like, oh my god, you should have him sign it. Just make sure you told him you didn't make it.
I found this outside.
On this outside, guys. It was by the cars. But yeah, so that was the first match, and they came out through the crowd as they do, which later on when they came out again, the people lined up to be at that same section, and they didn't come out through that section. They came out through a different section.
Oh yeah, that's on the vlog, right?
Running to try to catch up and to be at the other section where they were actually coming out. But yeah, this match, I mean, I guess I didn't have any notes.
Yeah.
and listen, and you guys have your own opinions about, you know, this is one of those shows where every match felt like it delivered for what it was, right?
Yeah.
There were some matches that were more anticipated, like Omega Okada, Mercedes and Tony, obviously Heyman and Mox, Ospreay and Swerve versus the Young Bucks. Like those are like the matches that everybody's looking forward to, right? But then you have matches like both Casino Gauntlet matches, both the men and women's, that were also incredible too.
Yeah.
So I think that's how you balance a pay-per-view, where you have matches that are highly anticipated and you have the fans really, really invested in, and then you have other matches where maybe you were not as much invested, but they still were good, you know?
Yeah. This was that's kind of what happened for me with this match, because I wasn't like fully invested, but it was a great match.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, so it really like helped you follow through the story as the match was happening. But yeah, the champions retained, and
Joe got taken out by the Death Riders, which
that's right.
that tells you the story leading into the main event, because now the Death Riders are pretty much taking out everyone that is an op, no pun intended, to them.
Yeah, that could have helped, and you know, do something different in that main event. So There was just, again, great storytelling in this pay-per-view. I thought it was 10 out of 10, but then we got the men's casino gauntlet, which fantastic.
Oh, so good.
Fantastic match. And we got a couple surprises. One of them did get ruined because the screen went off and the music also hit a little early before that person came out. And we thought it was Jay White. And it wasn't Jay White, it was Juice. But
which is still good. No complaints from me. No complaints from me. My God, Juice. And then Iridian. So when we were sitting it was me, myself, Iridian, Kaycee, and Raul, right? And I just kept telling Iridian, Roger Strong's gonna come out. Oh, Bandito's gonna come out. Oh, Brody King's gonna come out.
He was calling him.
Did he get him right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And then I thought it was gonna be Jay White because I was like, oh, Jay White, and it was Juice. Which no complaints from me, like I said, but I was like, yep, this person's gonna come out. Yep, this person's gonna come out now.
Yeah.
Wait. How were they coming to you?
I just saw who was coming out first. So like when Místico came out, MJF was on the offense. So I'm like, yeah, Místico's gonna come out now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was kind of like,
do you know how invested you have to be in wrestling to be able
to
call it is crazy.
Absolutely, Restaurant.
Sometimes we're watching wrestling and like we know when the finisher's coming up, right? We're like, all right, it's just like one or two more things you got to do now before you hit that move. And I think like that's where I'm at, that I'm like, oh, okay, I can figure out maybe where that like finisher is going to be. But I'm not at like, this person's coming out next. This person's coming out next. So Mario absolutely cheated and gave a list to Nick Wayne, who he met before at StarCast, gave him a list, and Nick Wayne probably passed it to Tony Khan, and he's like, here, this is what my boy Mario wants to do.
Shout out to my buddy Nick Wayne. You know, we had a quick little conversation in StarCast. Nothing like me telling him like, hey, these are the plans I think you should do for the casino battle, casino gauntlet match.
Just to impress my friends.
Yeah.
Just my buddy Nick Wayne.
Master Defender saying the juice is loose, which he absolutely was. Kaycee, and he came out with a new look.
Yeah. I know. I was like clean shaven. I did not recognize him at first. Like I looked at the screen. I was like, that's Juice? And I was like, oh my God, he looked completely different than the last time we saw him. And I mean, kudos to him. He looks like he's like a lot bulkier in regards to like muscle. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about the beardless though. I was like, he might need a little like
we need a little
shadow or something.
Fuzz. We need a little fuzz in the face. And it seems like, even fast forward to Collision this past week, and you guys were there. It seems like even Juice's presentation is a little bit different, where he's a little bit more serious and a little bit not as loose. Which, listen, I really don't care. I'm just a fan of the guy. I just want him to succeed. But yeah, it seems like he's not as unhinged as he once was.
Well, what I will say is, when he came out for that match, I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But then they went to a backstage segment where he and Big Bill are like chatting it up. And he's like, oh, well, Big Bill, this is your fault. Or I don't know like what the altercation was. But then he runs up on Big Bill and he's yelling at him. And I'm like, wait, this is Juice. This is Juice, okay?
So he is loose, yeah.
So I was like, maybe he just needed a little backstage segment by himself to just let go a little bit more. But I'm really excited that he's back.
Yeah,
he looks
me
great
too. And you know what, Mario? Now that you talked about him being in Collision, you can tell what a great guy Juice is outside of his character, because you saw that Colton got injured. As soon as he realized that Colton was injured, he did not care about what was going on in the show. He was just with Colton the whole time. You can tell he was very worried, and that's how we knew he was seriously injured, or possibly, right?
And you know what? They didn't show any of that on Collision.
Oh, I did not watch Collision.
So what happened? We saw the Colton injury, and they kind of like moved away from it, and they focused on everything else. When we were there in person, we saw him roll off to the side. We saw the doctor get called in. They brought in like a little chair for him if he wanted to sit to get carried out. Billy Gunn came out and at the top of the stage to make sure like everything was okay. And Austin too was like checking on him. I don't know if it's like if the severity of the injury or if the injury at all has been reported. But when we were there, like we saw it in real time, and they didn't show any of that on Collision. So I was like, oh, is it?
I was gonna say I watched Collision last night, and like that's crazy.
The only reason I knew that there was like something was up in that match, but I didn't know the details. Like what Teddy was saying was, I read something that Colton got like some type of injury or whatever. I'm like, oh damn, that sucks. They just got back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we said. We were like, man, they just came back, like, and they got juice. Like, this is feels like people are getting injured left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's unfortunate. But the winner of this men's casino gauntlet match was MJF. So was it what we were expecting? I don't know. Rest friend, what are your thoughts on MJF winning?
My thoughts exactly, Teddy. I feel the same.
What I will say, Mario, is I think that this adds to we heard people, right? The Hurt Syndicate story. I feel like now you gave MJF something else, right? And this could just lead to bigger. I mean, of course, it leads to a championship, right? What's going to happen with him and Hangman?
Well, Hangman better destroy MJF. That's one.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, I have not let go of the whole Hangman and MJF feud ever since MJF won the ring. Like, I seriously never let that go. So I do really.
Mario.
What was that match called for that ring that
The
MJF was
Dynamite
wearing?
doesn't ring.
That's so.
That thing.
I hated that thing was only one time. Like, that's it.
Yes. I thought it was gonna be like a yearly thing too.
I mean,
yeah,
it has been a yearly thing. It's just nobody cares about it because it's a stupid ring on a stupid guy.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, I have not let go of that. So I do hope that Hangman eventually beats up MJF.
Yeah.
So for storytelling purposes, I don't know if you guys have picked this up, but every time there's been a Hurt Syndicate backstage promo, every time MJF cuts a promo, right, talking with the group or whatever, Bobby Lashley's always giving him these looks. Every time MJF kind of steps out of line and he says certain things like he's the guy and he's like the best, Bobby Lashley has been giving this a look. So I think that's going to backfire at MJF at some point. And at some point, I think the Hurt Syndicate's going to turn on MJF.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Lashley definitely hates him, okay? Since day one, even before he was fully accepted, when they were giving him the thumbs up or the thumbs down, Bobby was asking people in the crowd, like, should we let him in? And I think when he was here in Chicago, we were all like, no. And he's like, see, nobody wants him. Like, he's trying to live his best life without MJF. But yeah, I mean, that was a really, really great gauntlet match. Shout outs to Tony Khan for booking that. You really did that. And after this, we're like, okay, next thing, because they were giving the preview for Adam Cole versus Kyle. And we're like, okay, great. Let's go get some merch. This is where we were like, let's go. This is our time. We'll be back before the entrances. Great. So we go out there and then we hear Adam Cole's music and we're like, interessante. Why are we hearing Adam Cole's music? And then he's giving a speech and we don't know what the hell's going on. But we hear people chanting Adam. We're in the line, which the merch, we'll talk about it at the end of the show. Because I forgot to mention the merch store.
The merch in general. Yeah. The merch for the whole weekend was
terrible. And
not the actual merchandise. It was like the merch displays and the merch in the venue, the setup. Not the merch. The merch was great. Like we ended up getting some stuff, but it's just the displays and the areas the merch was at.
Yes. They didn't have enough sizes of things. They were running out of things, which I don't think they were prepared for that number of people. And I mean, I guess you can't blame them for that, but
we'll blame Pro Wrestling Tees. Let's be honest.
So, absolutely blame Pro Wrestling Tees. I am an advocate of that. So yeah, we were kind of like watching it through. I had to go on Twitter to see what was happening because next thing you know, people are talking about Adam Cole retiring, and we're like, whoa, what happened? And we found out earlier that, or we said that Adam Cole was not going to fight, that it was not going to be like a fatal 4-way. And we're like, oh, okay. But we didn't think that Adam was going to go out there and cry and make people cry. Mario, how are you feeling about this?
I was devastated for my guy Adam Cole, especially because the day before I got to, chop it up with the UE, the Paragon, Ring of Honor legends in their own right.
With you.
And we did the pose. We did the pose, right? We did the pose. And they're Ring of Honor legends in their own right as well. And they mean something to me in my wrestling fandom, especially when it comes to those back in the day Ring of Honor shows, right? And just to know that Adam Cole, unfortunately, is dealing with all this stuff, it makes me sad because, one, I think he's a great guy. And two, it's like, when you think of Adam Cole, you think of all the history and everything he's done, right? His Ring of Honor stuff, his NXT stuff, which that chunk where he was Ring of Honor World Champion and all the great stuff he did in NXT, we don't know what his future is. So that chunk of his career is pretty much his high at this point. And when he went to AEW, I think we all as fans expected him to do bigger and better things, right? After he accomplished already great things, right? And it kind of didn't work out that way for Adam Cole, due to injury. And it's just sad. It really makes me sad because, like I said, I think he's generally a great guy. He's a great wrestler. And it's unfortunate that he's been dealing with, all these health issues. But if there's any silver lining to this, right? One, Adam Cole's a talented guy. So let's say if this is the end of his career, I think he would be great at commentary. But also, here's another way of looking at things too, is you never know, right? Edge and Bryan Danielson came out after taking a long hiatus, dealing with neck issues, concussion issues, right? They took a long hiatus and they came back and still were able to perform at that top level. Who's to say the same thing could happen for Adam Cole? And that's what I'm hoping for. At the end of the day, whether he comes back to wrestling or he ends up retiring, I just want the best for my guy. I love the dude. He's great.
Yeah, and some of the things that he was saying in his speech, like he said, thank you for making AEW what it is. Thank you for making AEW so special. And thank you all so damn much for changing my life. I love you always.
Ugh.
No words. No words.
No, literally no words. Just tears.
Yeah.
When he started crying, I was like, oh no.
Hi.
I'm a crybaby. So I was like, no. Yeah.
It's sad. Like, this guy was
So sad.
balling on TV, and then just to see Roderick and Kyle over there supporting him, and they're real life best friends too. It's like it's a moment seeing them, embrace him, but at the same time, it's sad because it's like, you could tell like right now who knows how he is mentally, right? Like,
Yeah.
the guy has been through a lot the last couple of years, so you just feel for him, man.
Yeah. And to go right from that into the match to see who was going to be the new champion, I thought it was still going to go to Kyle Fletcher.
I think we all did.
It made sense. It made the most sense because we kind of already thought he was going to win to begin with. And so it's like, okay.
Yeah, Kaycee.
Okay.
What do you mean you didn't have Dustin winning? What?
Well, I mean, all respect to Dustin. Like, he's obviously
right.
He's been in the game for a long time. He's bringing up future wrestlers through his school. Like, he's given so much to this industry. So it's like, yes, give him his flowers. I don't know how many more years he has left in him. Like, yeah, I don't know. So I understand like that sign of respect, and it's his home state. It makes sense for him, but it was an interesting choice. That's what I'll say. It was an interesting choice.
Yes, unexpected choice.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure about it until we went to Collision, and he gave that really great speech of like, man, I've been chasing this title for so long. He's like, Dad, I wish you were here right now to see this, that I am now the face of TNT. And he was talking about like how when he had rough times, he would just say, just keep stepping. I believe that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically said, you just got to keep going if you're like having rough patches, because like look where he is now. And then of course Don Callis came out and then was like, hey, you want to join the family? And I was like, sir, you have like 37 people in your faction.
No longer a faction.
No
Becoming
longer.
a cult. Like, that's enough.
Yes.
But
yes.
Now, Dustin is hopefully going to be a fighting champion. So I don't know where that leaves Kyle Fletcher, but I feel like he's got to work his way up again. Like, we've been working to him being champion, and now we got to start over.
I think he's going to beat Dustin. He's going to beat Dustin for that title. They already plant the seeds on Dynamite this week that he's gunning for Dustin. So it wouldn't shock me if Dustin drops a belt at Forbidden Door to him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something that we got to see super up close, I guess, was the Young Bucks when they were on their boat on their way to us for the next match, which was Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks with the EVP titles on the line. So, Rusfan, I'm telling you, they get on a boat and they're on their way towards us, okay? I don't know what the heck the mechanism was, but they were up in the air on a boat, and then they weren't up in the air, but there was so much smoke, there was pyro, and we were ready. We're like, the Young Bucks are gonna come and get us. They're
Come and get us.
take
I
us
was
with
like,
them.
if they wanted to cut time on this 6-hour pay-per-view, I think they could have shortened a lot of people's entrances. I think a lot of people had some really long entrances, and I get it. This is, like Mario was saying, like a very WrestleMania-esque pay-per-view. It's big, it's epic, but some of these I was like, how much pyro are we going to give Ospreay? He's not even the main event, and he got like so much pyro. I was like, they better have that much pyro for Hangman when he comes out, because they gave him like a 15-minute pyro introduction, and then the Young Bucks coming out on a boat, and I'm like, let's move it up, let's move it along, let's make the boat go a little faster.
But man, I guess who are the Young Bucks if they're not the EVPs, Mario? What are we doing?
I think now the story they're telling with the Bucks. First of all, that match was fantastic. That was like besides the main event, that was like my favorite match of the night, right? Swerve, Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. That match was incredible, right?
Great.
But I think now the story they're telling with the Bucks is they're kind of lost now. And you saw on Dynamite how the Don Callis family is trying to now get them, right? Don Callis being the slithering weasel that he is, he's trying to. He was like, hey, we could even throw up the sign again, like, come join this family, whatever. And the Bucks made it clear, I'm not joining the family. However, their fellow elite brother, Okada, is part of the Don Callis family. So now they're kind of associated with Don Callis family. So I think the story you tell now with the Bucks is that they're going to lose everything. And then little by little, they have to build themselves from the ground back up, kind of like what they did in their whole career. If you guys read their book, which is a fantastic book, they go in every single chapter from both brothers' perspective, how they came up, how they came from nothing and started building themselves. And I think that would make for an interesting story on AEW, where guys that were the founding fathers, which they still are, and former EVPs, that they had it all, right? And they kind of lost their ways. Now they have to start from the ground again, and they kind of go back to their roots. And I think that's a very interesting story to tell with the Bucks.
Yeah,
I agree. I do. I also think they're gonna go back to being babyface Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, the vibrant Young Bucks that everyone loves, the tag team that everyone loves,
The
and
zebra
especially
print, the flashy stuff, the jean
yes,
jackets, the what is it, the gimmicks on the pants, all them stuff. Like that's the we want to see them again like that.
hell yeah. And you could already tell by the crowd too that the crowd is starting to go to them again. I feel like from these past years, at least here in Chicago, they would get booed a lot, a
not by
lot.
us,
Oh,
not by us.
Oh, absolutely not, never, never. But this past show, you can tell that a lot more people were cheering for them again. So I think what's it called? I think everyone's on their side. I think we're all like, hoping for OG Young Bucks to come back.
Oh,
Yeah, I would hope so. And my introduction to the Young Bucks was in AEW. So they came out and they were in the fringe, they were in the colors, and I was like, yes, Young Bucks, love it. When they started to have their heel turn, that's when Teddy was like, oh, Rest Friend, wait, like you're gonna love them as heels. Like this is what they are good at. And I miss the OG Young Bucks. Like I'm excited for the possibility of seeing them like that again. So I hope that we're on to the regular Young Bucks. But then what happens to the EVP titles? Are we now looking at Swerve EVP and
Right.
Ospreay? Or was
No,
it
Right.
I think the
taking away
EVP
of the
I think the EVP titles, I think they're done in theory, right?
Mhm.
Bucks are still EVPs, Kenny Omega's still EVP, like outside of the show, but at least on camera, I think there's no more EVPs.
Could be a good thing. We shall see. But let's talk about the women's Casino Gauntlet match, which was also a banger.
Ooh,
Had
Yes.
less surprise.
So good.
you start off with Chris and Megan Bain. Oh my God.
Snaps all around for the women. 10 out of 10. Kaycee, how did you feel about this match?
Absolutely. I mean, those are two of my favorites in AEW right now. So to see these two strong, like Amazonian women, like starting off the gauntlet, like it just automatically has you invested in it. And like the women just have been fantastic. Like they have such a great division and they work all so well together. Like it was such a great gauntlet match.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I'm glad Athena picked up that win. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
that she needed it. I think AEW needed it because I'm always talking smack about us not seeing Athena because she's behind a paywall on Ring of Honor. And I'm not paying for Ring of Honor. So I need her to come on to AEW TV because that's the only reason I'll watch her. Like, I was so glad she popped up on Collision because I was like, thank God I don't have to watch Ring of Honor to see her. No shade towards Ring of Honor, but it's there's so many things that you have to pay for now. I'm not paying for
Yeah.
Ring of Honor.
Listen, I feel bad for the person that is paying for Ring of Honor. Like, it's not worth paying for. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Here's a fun fact. Okay, here's a fun fact. Here's something that I don't think a lot of people knew, right? We were very fortunate to go to Super Card of Honor, right? We were very fortunate. However, to go to Super Card of Honor, you needed to buy some VIP platinum gimmick pass for All In, and then you get the Super Card of Honor ticket. That was the only way you could go to Super Card of Honor. You can't buy individual tickets for the show. What are we doing here? Ring of Honor's not that
That's
special anymore.
crazy.
What are we
Yeah.
doing?
That's crazy.
That's it's crazy because we were like, hey, let's look up the tickets to see
Mhm.
what they cost so we could go. You couldn't even do that because the only way you were is if you bought like a VIP to All In, and then they had like some other stuff, and so we couldn't even find tickets. So I had to text somebody and be like, hey, do you have tickets to the show?
Just wondering, just a
wondering.
question.
If
Just
it's open. So
just a little hypothetical.
we ended up being able to go to the show, but otherwise we wouldn't have been able to find tickets.
Which
Yeah.
is crazy because for a big show like this, right? Because, and like I said, this is kind of like the WrestleMania, right? All In is AEW's WrestleMania. You would think you're going to have all these wrestling fans in this area, right? Why not sell those tickets for the public, for the general public? Why does it have to be like some special gimmick, VIP, platinum, whatever? Like, no, put the tickets out. And the thing is, you look at the house, it was a good house. Now,
Mhm.
imagine you would have had those tickets for the general public, they probably would even drew a bigger house.
Yeah, and every seat, it was pretty much full, and it was a pretty big space. So they had that ability to, if they just put some, you could have even put like 300 tickets available. They would have sold
Mhm.
immediately. But I'm glad that it was Athena, so now we can see her on regular television.
Very happy for Athena too.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise, but a pleasant surprise. Like, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness! Like, you didn't think somebody who was already holding a championship was
Yeah.
going to be able to win that opportunity. But it's very exciting to see what that plays out, or how that plays out now that she has that contract and she'll be able to utilize that. Definitely makes for an exciting storyline moving forward.
Yeah. Next match, we got to see the Hurt Syndicate. We were
You
excited
hurt
to see
people.
we were excited to hurt people. And Jet Speed and the Patriarchy, which this match, fantastic, great, but the real magic happened after the match.
Oh yeah.
So the Hurt Syndicate came out with the win, but then Mario's boy, who I'm guessing he told you what he was going to do before he did it, but he's like, no, this is not working out for me anymore. Christian, I don't need you, which I think is true. I think Nick Wayne could be a star by himself.
Mhm.
He didn't need Christian, but now he attacked Christian, and now it's the matriarchy. Mama Wayne is like, this is actually my kid, not yours. So this is not what we're doing anymore. I didn't see this coming. And I definitely didn't see Mr. Rated R himself coming back. So Mario, how did you feel when that music hit?
Well, so once this match started, me and Raul went to go get drinks, right? And I was telling Raul, I was like, yo, I think Edge is gonna come out after the match. I was like, something's gonna happen where someone's gonna turn on Christian, or maybe FTR gets involved, and something's gonna happen where it's gonna lead for Edge, Cope, to make his return. And that's pretty much what happened. And Cope came out. My guy Cope, Edge, big pop from me. I was very excited, and I kind of just looked at Raul. Raul was like, he was right. And he attacked everyone, and then he kind of just looked at Christian and was like, what is it? Go find yourself.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what's going to happen here is Christian's going to somehow find himself again, and we're going to see the return of Edge and Christian. Okay, maybe CNC now, Cope and Christian, right? Cope and Cage, I don't know what you want to call it,
Ooh.
versus FTR and All Out Toronto. Not Chicago, guys, Toronto.
Oh,
Aw,
so
don't
Thanks,
rub
Mario.
it in. You're like, thanks.
yeah, I'm
Thank you.
hopeful for the possibility that we can get this tag team one more time before they retire.
Yeah.
Now, word on the street is that, you know, the Hardys have a match tonight. And if they lose, they're like not going to challenge for those titles again or something. I think that's the stipulation, something along like that. But the rumor is that they're going to go back to WWE and they're going to finish off their careers there because they've said that that's what they wanted to do. But if they could go back to like AEW for a week, we could get that match. We could get that match. I need Christian and Cope to speed it up. I need a 2-week program and let's run back that title match one more time. Like, we need to see the Hardys and Edge and Christian one more time. I don't care how it happens. I need to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I think we're going to see them retire on 2 different spaces. But let me know if you guys agree with me.
I mean, I would love for it to happen.
Yeah,
right. Me too, but go ahead, Kaycee.
No, I was gonna say you just never know in wrestling nowadays, which is exciting. You never know. You never know.
Facts. But I can't help but think as well, like maybe it would be best to just leave it like this, because what if they do get to feud against each other and it's not what we expected because they are not who they used to be, you know?
Because they're old.
Well, yeah, they're not what we used to watch on TV when we were little.
Well, they can slow it down. They don't have to go all out.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to see Jeff.
So you don't need to see. Okay.
I don't need to see Jeff Hardy off of a ladder at all. Okay.
You just want to see them face each other and.
Yeah, they could give us the hits. Listen, I think the Hardys have found a way to still give us a little umph, a little bit of the Hardys we love, but also been able to grow where they're not really taking too much high risk stuff, right? And Edge and Christian, they're just masters of their craft. So hypothetically speaking, let's say if Iridian scenario was to happen, I still think they could give us like a pretty good match. I mean, look at you know, completely different conversation, but look what Randy and John Cena gave us like what was it, 2 months ago, right? And they're at the tail end of their career. So I think Edge and Christian and the Hardys are smart enough to know if Iridian scenario was to happen, I think they could give us a good match.
I mean, you say that, but then we did see Cope jump off of a cage and break his
he gets
leg.
the button for
so
that.
You know, like
we
say that they know how to be safe, and then they do stuff like that. I was like, what are you doing up there? Don't do that. You should know better.
That's the definition of LJ Cool.
Man, yeah, that's something that I would hope for, but I don't know if we're gonna get that. But one thing that I'm glad that we got was Toni Storm retaining her championship against Mercedes. I was so worried going into this match that they would just give Mercedes another belt. And before I continue, let's talk about this comment. Mass Pretender, Nick Wayne is a future GOAT. So that's probably Nick Wayne undercover.
He's like, hi, Mario. Watching just for you.
Back to the women's match. But yeah, I was scared that they were going to give Mercedes another championship and she was going to have like 7 titles. I don't think she needs all those 7 titles. I think she's fine just on her own. But Toni has really proven her worth, and I'm glad that they gave her this prize of keeping her title because she's been so fantastic. I think that match was great and it was really close in some parts. So Teddy, watching it at home, what were you feeling?
Oh my God, that match for me was something that I was really, really anticipating. And I was really hoping for Toni to win as well, because I believe that Toni's character has really, I'm not going to say carry the company right at all, because there's so many great stars on there. But Toni's character for me is number 1 right now. Like, amazing. She's amazing. She deserves that championship. And I think we deserve her as a champion, as fans. And I'm not saying that Mercedes wouldn't have been a great champion. Absolutely not. But I think that her time will come when it's right. So the match itself as well, I thought it was great. Toni cracks me up. But I'm also very, very happy with the way Mercedes was looking in that ring. I think everyone is finally over that, you know, that feeling that everyone had for Mercedes in the beginning, which I can't really explain, but I feel like we all had.
I didn't like it.
A lot of people didn't like it, and I can see why, but I'm glad that not only are we like feeling better about it too, but Mercedes does look really different in the ring to me.
Yeah.
Amazing. I thought that match was amazing.
Which is crazy because I say it all the time. Like, I loved Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks,
Yeah.
you didn't tell me anything about her. I absolutely love her to death. She's got my favorite matches in WWE against Charlotte.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then coming to AEW, I was like, something's off. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
Something's off. But I think that match that she had with Chris Statlander, I was like, oh, okay. We're seeing the footing. We're seeing Mercedes Moné. Like, I got it.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with her this pay-per-view. So I know she's worked her ass off to prove everybody wrong. But I'm glad you didn't win the title, girl. I'm glad.
You know, what's the other thing that I love about Mercedes? We don't know what's going on backstage, right? And we don't know her personally, but to me, she gives off someone that even though she's still very young, she kind of gives off like she's a vet because she's been in the
Yes.
business for so long. So when she comes out and she works with a lot of these different women, you can tell that she is working
shot.
with them.
Mhm.
Yes, she's not acting like I'm better than you. You better keep up with me. Like she's really working with everything. They want to do all their ideas. I mean, Tony Storm is crazy. And for Mercedes to go along with Tony's idea, you have to be crazier, right? Because we all saw that match. We saw the crazy things that Tony was doing. So amazing. I think they both did amazing.
Yeah, Mario, we were in the crowd just so hyped on seeing these women, right?
Yeah, we were, kind of comparing it to Bandito and Takesh, though. We were kind of on the edge of our seat. I think a lot of us were standing with those near falls. And when you thought Tony was about to pull out the victory, Mercedes kept on kicking out. And then when you thought Mercedes was going to pick up the victory, Tony kept kicking out. So they told an incredible story. And, we had an incredible women's pay-per-view the following day in WWE with Women's Evolution. But I do want to give these women their credit because they put on a banger of a match. It's a match that could be in anybody's list of matches of the year.
Yes.
Mercedes and Tony was incredible. I think we all expected it. And just to kind of add on to what Teddy was saying, how like a lot of people weren't feeling Mercedes like the first couple of months. I was one of those people. I wasn't really feeling Mercedes in the first couple of months. And I think right when the fall of 2024 started hitting and she got into that feud with Chris Statlander, I think that's when she started getting it. And then that match they had at Full Gear was incredible. And I feel like since then, she's been hitting nothing but home runs. So I'm happy for Mercedes. I'm happy for Tony that she retained. And I do agree with you. At some point, Mercedes Moné is going to become AEW Women's World Champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I do have a question for you guys that were there in person, and this is going to get a little rated R.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even thinking about that. Did you guys notice the biting like during the match? Did you notice that that's what was happening? Because while I was watching here at home, I didn't notice it was biting until I got on Twitter, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Yeah.
So
we noticed it.
We noticed it, but it was just kind of one of those transition stuff. Like the crowd was like, "Whoa!" But then they just moved on to the next thing. It wasn't like social media where everybody just kept on talking about it, kept on talking about it, kept on talking about it. We kind of saw the movie. We're like, "Holy shit!" Like, wow, she really did that. But the crowd just kept on going. They moved forward with it, right? Like, and I'm sure there's some people in the audience or whatever, like men that were like, "Oh my god," or whatever. But like overall, at least in our section, we just moved on and we just kept on going.
Which, side note, there was a lot going on in our section.
Oh God!
Briefly after this, but Kaycee, I know you're a fan of Tony. How did you feel about her retaining her title?
Well, I had my own theories going in after the women's gauntlet when Athena won. I was like, oh man, like that had me thinking, oh, Mercedes is probably going to win, so they can set up maybe like Mercedes and Athena again, because I know that's what a lot of people really want to see again. And so I was like, oh, Tony's not going to win. I was like, oh, like I was already kind of mentally preparing myself for the loss. But the match was so incredible, and like towards the end, like you really just didn't know which direction it was going to go. Obviously, I'm very happy that Tony won because I think she's just such a wonderful storyteller and she's a hell of a wrestler. So like she can back up what she says, and she just says the most off-hinged things, and she sticks to them too. Like, I mean, she did say she was going to take a bite out Sadie, she literally did.
Right, she literally did.
So, I mean, it was just fantastic. It's always really great to see when the women can get like, I don't even know how to say it, like down and dirty. Like, it's just fun to see them wrestle in that way. And so it was just fun. Like, the match was fantastic and they both performed amazing. I mean, they said it was a triple main event and that they definitely deserved that title for that match because they really brought it.
Yeah. And going into, sorry, Mario, go ahead.
No. I agree with that what Kaycee just said right now about it being a triple main event because those 3 matches felt like main events.
Yeah, going into that second main event of the night with Okada and Kenny Omega, that was crazy. Which leading up to that, I'm glad that they showed promo videos because I didn't get to see them fight in New Japan. I didn't get to see what else was going on. So seeing them in the ring this time around, I was like, man, this is crazy. They've been fighting for forever. Like these guys have really been going. And Teddy, you and I gave our thoughts on the predictions, and I was like, well, I think Kenny's gonna take it. But you're like, well, I think Okada. And I was like, Okada? What? Okada. And Okada picked up the win. And I didn't think it was gonna happen, but that match was phenomenal. Like, Jesus Christ. Like they could have fought for 3 hours straight, and I would have been like, I'm sat.
I mean, they fought for 90 minutes before, so I mean,
we were ready. I was like, all right, we got the popcorn, we got the drinks. Let's go. Let's go for this one.
It's crazy. Mario, seeing them fight one more time, what was that like for you?
I mean, this is like a bucket list for me, right? Because I've been following their careers in New Japan. I used to stay up or wake up early hours in the morning to watch their matches, And was the match different from their previous 4? Absolutely. They're older now, right? However, they told a very interesting story where it didn't feel like they were even. In their past bouts, it felt like an even playing field, right? Where they were kind of like 1A, 1B, and you didn't know who was going to pick up the win, right? Whether it was a draw or Kenny picking up a win at the G1 Climax or Okada winning their first encounter. And then finally the last one where Kenny wins the IWGP World title, right, from Okada. He finally picks up that win. But in this match, they told the story where Kenny was fighting from underneath because of his health issues and his injury or whatever, where you're like, man, I've never seen Kenny Omega really be fighting underneath against Okada. But then once maybe the last quarter of that match, then it became even again, where we started seeing the old Kenny Omega coming out and you started him putting up a fight. But ultimately, Okada wins. I don't hate it because now they're 2-2 and there's 1 draw. I know they kind of teased it that this might be it, but I would not be shocked if we get another bout somewhere down the line.
Absolutely. He could come back for it. Kaycee, what do you think?
I agree. Like it was, I'm glad they did that recap right before, just because again, I'm the same too. I'm not really very familiar with Japanese wrestling. I haven't really read on the history of it. And so getting to see this and getting to see them perform at such a level, but knowing that history, it was amazing. Like I love Kenny Omega. Like just on his entrance with the giant flaming Omega sign, I was like, I'm sold. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Felt very cinematic. So I loved it. I loved the storytelling, but just the wrestling itself. But I always get so nervous when they're fighting with he has diverticulitis. Like, be careful. Please don't hurt him. And so there's that suspense of and that worry of re-injury. But I mean, it was incredible. I loved it. It was such a great match.
Yeah, Russ friend, you and Sergio watching at home. I know the entrance looked spectacular. I just know it did.
Oh, it did, absolutely. It looks so cool. Omega's entrance alone, with the Omega sign, I thought that was very, very cool. Even though you can tell one side of it they struggle. Well,
one side didn't light up.
They was struggling.
Yeah,
The left side.
but it still looked really cool. His entrance looked very, very cool. He also got a custom theme song, which is Sergio didn't like it, but I was like, okay, but that's still cool.
Yeah, it had
video games.
Too many verses.
Too many verses.
4 verses.
I don't play video games, but if The Sims ever did a theme song for me, I'd be excited. I'd be like, this is dope, So I thought that was really dope. Okada, his what was that jacket robe? gimmick thing, and I'm talking like Mario. I thought that was beautiful. I was like, I need one of those for myself. But the match itself, I mean, yeah, it was very exciting. Sergio was very, very excited. I had a couple people over watching the pay-per-view that don't watch wrestling. So they were making commentary that had nothing to do with wrestling. And I could tell in Sergio's face that he was like, I wish everyone would shut up. Like, this is my man, wrestling right now. But
I mean,
Sergio had a
I don't blame
blast.
him. I don't blame you. I would have
No,
felt the same way too.
I think you would have been the same way, Mario. And the commentary wasn't terrible, but it had nothing to do with, they don't know Kenny Omega and
She was like,
Okada.
shut up, shut up.
Absolutely. Sergio was just glued to the TV, just making faces here and there, like, just let me watch my match. But I would speak for Sergio that he really, really did enjoy that match. And even though he's a huge Kenny fan, he was very happy that Okada won. And of course, I was happy that Okada won.
It was the right
And
call.
just absolutely, I agree.
I love Kenny Omega, but I also love Okada. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad that he won. But let's get to the big match of the weekend. I feel
Can
like
I ask you a question real quick before we get into the main event about Okada? Because you guys were in Chicago, and Kaycee, you can also chime in too. How did you guys feel about his new presentation on Dynamite with the new theme song and the black now like jacket? Because it was a completely different theme from his New Japan Classic. I love the jacket, and I don't hate the theme. I'm just gonna have to grow to it because his New Japan theme is iconic, right? Like I'm so used to hearing that theme, and now it's a completely different theme. It's not bad. I just need to. It just needs to grow on me a little bit. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
We did.
I fuck with it. I like the song.
Theme, yeah, the theme change. I don't mind it, but he is a different Okada right now than he was when he first showed up in AEW. So I do think that a new theme is needed, and I don't know what direction they're trying to take him in, but I don't hate it. I thought the look was good, and he looked great in person.
Yeah, honestly, I don't hate it either. I think I like the song. I feel like I immediately liked the song.
Yeah, it's a
And
cool
then
song.
I already forgot the name of the band or whatever, but Sergio did tell me. He's like, "Oh, no wonder it sounded familiar." But I don't know. I think it gives Okada definitely a different personality. Also, he was flipping us off behind his back. Like we didn't talk about it like in any of the videos, but at Dynamite, since people were like booing him, he literally put his hand behind his back and was like low key flipping us off. I was like, "What?"
You're like,
I love this
"Excuse me."
Okada. So I was like, "What, us?" But I really like this Okada, even though he's goofy. He's a little silly.
He's a little silly man.
He's a little silly man.
I don't hate it. I guess we'll see who else joins the Don Callis family, because maybe they'll also change the outfits for him. But yeah, this all awaited match, like Hangman was getting so much love at StarCast. It just felt like it was his weekend. It felt like everybody was there for Hangman. And the entrance that he got, where that lady was just whistling while that man was in the car, talent on the lead, 10 out of 10. But we were all, us talking about Hangman's got to bring back his old theme. I know, Mario, you were like, he's got to do this. He's got to do this. And as soon as we got the whistle, we were like, oh, yep, it's the commercial. We're hearing it. We got it. And that music hits, and that arena just erupted. TV did not do it justice, because it was so loud. Mario, I'm glad that you were right that he was going to bring back his theme.
I mean, it's just the perfect storm, right? Like, why not? He's been getting cheered for months now, right? And he's been using that heel theme, which I don't hate. It's a fine theme too. But this redemption story that they've been telling with Hangman, it just felt the time was right to go back to his old theme. And man, that pop was incredible for Hangman. Like I'm smiling here talking about it because it's like, I don't want to be like The Rock here, but like, I'm kind of getting goosebumps.
I did too. I got chills as well.
Because I could kind of relive right now us sitting there. Well, no, we were standing up for his entrance, and we were just like, oh my God. And he came out, and you just hear that eruption for that crowd, and like, he just deserves it. He deserves all the praise, all us celebrating, us talking great about him. The moment he got the incredible match that he did with a great dancing partner with Jon Moxley as well. Just everything about this, the presentation, the tights he had, the white, very, very, I was getting like flashbacks of like Shawn Michaels a little bit with the white, but just everything, the presentation, everything. I just love the guy. Like, it couldn't have happened to a better guy.
And Kaycee, we knew going into this match that this was probably going to be a very hard fight because Jon Moxley is insane. And that's kind of what we got, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, y'all already know how I feel about bloody matches. I've already experienced them. They're not my cup of tea. Not a big fan of like bloody death matches, but I knew as soon as they said it was going to be a Texas death match, I was like, okay, I just have to mentally prepare that there's going to be blood, there's going to be thumbtacks, there's going to be barbed wire. I already knew, but it was so much more intense than I expected it to, like right off the bat too, like just the close-up. So we could see the ring from where we were sitting, but you know, it was nice to see the close-ups they would get on the jumbotrons, and so you're looking, and man, they got close up with those shots. I was like, I did not want to see the squirts, and
that's crazy.
That was crazy.
Oh, the screams, and we weren't the only ones screaming. Like you could just hear it throughout the arena, people's reactions to it. Like echoing. So, even those that enjoy that type of like fight and that type of match, like were like reacting in such a visceral way. Like I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
First friend, I know you love a Texas death match with Hangman, and you love the bloody matches. This was prime time for you, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm a sicko. I was expecting crazier things to happen because
you wanted more. You wanted more.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna say something nasty. When he drinks Swerve's blood and then he spit it, I wish I could have seen that. But I was like, maybe he'll save it for a day I can see it in person. I don't know, that would be very cool. I was
He was like, Teddy's not here. I can't do that. I can't do that one today.
That would be so dope. Yes.
Like I'll hold back a little bit. Well, there weren't any tacks, which I appreciate. The thumbtacks always freak me out, and the staple
no
guns.
tacks but glass.
No glass. But we had a bed of nails, so I mean, come on.
Bed of nails, some broken glass. That glass. Honestly, the one that did get me was the glass, just because glass. Oh. That's something that I definitely don't fuck with. That's something it was all over their backs. I can't imagine. I'm sure there's still glass on both of their backs, their whole entire bodies. That's the one thing that I was like, ow.
The spot that got to me was when Hangman powerbombed Moxley on the chairs facing
on the chairs. Yes.
Oh, that was crazy.
We're like reliving it again right now.
I know. And it's crazy. And I'm just thinking about how much pain has to be in that. Like, when I go to bed, sometimes I take my earrings off and I put them on the side. And next thing you know, in the middle of the night, they're like poking me on my back, and I'm like, ow, you know. So that's so like uncomfortable. I could only imagine getting dragged through glass, getting thrown onto a bed of nails, getting put through barbed wire chairs. This is insane. And this is only half the match because Darby was in the air at one point,
dingle dangling up there, hanging out.
Mario found him so quick. He was like, "Oh, Darby's right there." And me and Kaycee are like, "What are you looking at?"
I know. I was like, all I see is cables and fog. It was very foggy.
It was very foggy.
Kind of like, oh, and that was one thing. I don't know if it came through on the TV, but like it was raining during the match, and you could actually hear thunder at certain points during their main event.
So
I was like, at first I was like, is that just like the rumble from the crowd or whatever? I was like, oh, nope, that's actual thunder. So that kind of added an element of like, I don't know, like cinema to it. Like, I was like, oh my God,
cool.
Like it was really cool.
That's so cool. And it's crazy that you could hear all of that, even though there's a packed stadium. And
what I really loved about this match is this match had the same foundation of Cody Roman 2 from WrestleMania 40, right? Like we already knew it's going to be a Texas death match. We're going to get a shit ton of run-ins and whatever. Like, you know, it's going to be convoluted in the best possible way, right? But they changed the formula enough where it wasn't identical to Cody Roman 2 from WrestleMania 40, where you had run-ins, but they told a completely different story within the match.
That's very interesting. You're so right. I feel like a lot of us we obviously expected the run-ins, right? And I did see on social media that people expected some of the run-ins to possibly ruin it for Hangman or possibly ruin the match. But no, that didn't happen. If anything, the run-ins worked out so well in the story that Hangman and Mox were telling.
You told a great story, and then the icing on the cake was Swerve putting his ego to the side and giving that pretty much that alley-oop to Hangman, and he was like, go handle your business. And even that, like, after he wins the match, Swerve like gave him kind of like this smirk, like
The classic.
it's kind of hard to tell what the smirk meant, but it was a smirk nonetheless, where it's like, all right, you did it. I'll see you at some point down the road. But the match was just incredible. I can't praise it enough. And like I said, I'm just so happy for Hangman. He's the face of the company, rightfully so, and he is the heart and soul of AEW. And there's this one shot, and I'm sure you guys seen it online, where he's holding up the title. He's standing on the bed of nails, and right in the background it says, "If Mox wins, we riot."
Mm-hmm.
Which was a sign I said we should make. I was like, we gotta have that sign. I think someone also had that sign at Starcast,
and they had him sign it. Yeah.
It's just such a great time to see Hangman as champion. I think he truly deserves it. He's been through so much.
Yes.
I think now in AEW, we need a champion like him. Like, this guy has been through hell and back, and he's so lovable. He gives his all to his fans, and it just felt like it was Hangman's weekend. It was incredible, truly, to experience it. We were jumping up and down when that bell hit. Like, we were so excited for him, and everybody was losing their minds.
Yeah.
Everybody,
everyone. It was not only our section. You could see it across the whole stadium. Everybody was just jumping around, excited. Like, it felt like, you're at a game, whether it's like a football game, a Super Bowl, NBA Finals, and everybody's like cheering for their team that they just won the championship. That's how it felt like. Like, everybody in that stadium wanted Hangman to win, to have his moment. Like, we all wanted it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for him. I love that he was able to hear all of that, because like Edie said, he's had such a challenging time, right? And not only story-wise, because he has told us a very long story of him struggling in AEW with his character, but we also know that in real life, Hangman has been going through it. And for him to cry the real tears that he's been crying during the interviews after he won, it's serious. It's serious for him. Like, he's been going through it, and I'm so glad that he's back here now. As the champ, as he deserves it, because I feel that we sometimes need a champion to be the face of the company that is not afraid to show that men are not off. They don't all have fragile masculinities. This man is crying, and he says that he doesn't care that he's crying. This man was speaking Spanish in Mexico and basically let us know that he was on our side with everything that's been going on in this country. And we need that. We fucking need that shit. I'm a very, very proud Hangman fan right now. Always have been, but like, especially now, like,
1000%. Yeah.
1000%.
When we were watching, when we were there live, and Hangman was cutting that emotional promo, I was telling already, I'm like, damn, I'm kind of getting choked up listening to just hear him, because it's very relatable in a way, right? It's very relatable, that redemption story. He's been, like you said, character-wise, he's been taking us on a journey, but he also has been through it, outside of the ring, behind the scenes, all these reports and news and people viewing him a certain way or whatever. But, I'm sure that takes a toll on him as a person too, as a human being. So just to finally, it all becomes one in the ring, where he finally accomplishes this, right? Becoming champion again. It's like the blend of both worlds coming to one, and I'm just so happy for him. He truly deserves it.
And Kaycee, you made the stickers for.
Oh yes, the stickers.
Promo. So tell me about that sticker. And you made it for Hangman. Do you have one on you?
Yeah, Raul has his on his desk right now. So I was like, it's this little guy right there. So I just wanted to do something special when we got to meet him. I'm glad that they came in on time. I was very worried, but I just wanted to give him something small that symbolized how important that promo was. And I went back and rewatched it like a billion times afterwards, and just how he wasn't afraid to take that time to say what he said, and to show that support in such a crucial time. It's such a politically charged like atmosphere right now, and for him to say like, I'm gonna focus on this, and I'm gonna say what something so powerful and meaningful. I was like, I want to capture it in some way, so I put a couple of those stickers in the card, and just told him like, we're cheering for you, thank you for what you do and what you stand for. and just kind of put that in there. And then I was planning on giving them out, and then me being the introvert that I am, I started getting nervous and not handing them out. I did get to hand them out to a few people who were very appreciative, but I still have a handful. That's why I gave some to Iridian. I was like, hey, if you have a moment at those Chicago shows, just pass them out. Because I don't want to sell them. Those are just something that symbolize how important Hangman is at this moment. I'm so glad he's champion. I miss seeing that championship. It's so beautiful. Yep. Like, you forget how beautiful that championship is, and to see it on someone so deserving is just perfect. I'm so glad he's going to be representing AEW as the champion from this moment forward, and he's just so deserving of that.
And Russ friend, just seeing him in Chicago as champion since winning that title, he came out and he was so thankful, so excited, and he looked great. Like, he said, he's
oh my god, amazing. You know what, also something that I haven't seen people mention much, unless it's just crazy to notice this, but he's been wearing the same jacket he was wearing when he won the championship the first time. Like, he wore that jacket.
I didn't know that.
Like, that's such a night. Like, I didn't recognize.
You know what, Teddy, you got me, and I'm usually good at like little Easter eggs.
And that's why she's the number one fan.
I usually spot shit, but yeah, you're the definition of being a number one fan for Hangman, because I did not catch that at all. Good eye.
To be honest with you, I mean, it could be a little crazy, but I do remember him literally doing a promo video before he won the championship the first time. He was wearing that jacket, and then obviously when I met him, because I met him like 2 weeks after he won that first championship, he was wearing that jacket. He was wearing the jacket when I recognize it. But I was really, really surprised to see that on the internet. No one was talking about it.
You're like, actually,
Teddy's talking about it right now.
And I love
talking
that.
About it.
As a cosplayer, like, I love the storytelling that's told through gear and through what they wear. And I think that he does such a great job with the gear that he comes out. It tells a story on its own. And there's very few wrestlers that you see nowadays that are able to take that symbolism, like, and for people like you to catch that, to be able to see like, oh, like, this is an important moment for him because it symbolizes like that resurgence of him being a champion again. So I love the storytelling through gear and through costuming. So, that's so cool.
I agree. And I mean, the jacket looks very good on him. So
I mean, he looks great in Fringe.
He looks great, 10 out of 10, and Hangman loves us. So
and Hangman loves us. Okay.
we are on a high, but that's what we will end the show, guys. It's been 2 hours. I can't believe, and honestly, we summed it up. Okay.
It was shorter than the pay-per-view. Hello.
Imagine.
Do you imagine? That's crazy. But Mario, let our listeners know where they can find you, where they can find Lucha Outsiders, and everything you got going on.
All right, you could follow us at Lucha Outsiders everywhere, Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast if you like the wrestling talk. Me and my crew, shout outs to Sam and also Ryan Radar. We talk about wrestling. We add a little comedic flair to our takes and just our commentary. You're guaranteed to laugh, and maybe we get a little bit controversial, but not too controversial. But we speak our mind. We do it in a comedic tone. Just follow us on there, subscribe to the podcast, and if you care to follow yours truly, you can follow me too at Radar 87.
Kaycee, where can our listeners find you and your amazing cosplays and all of your art?
Well, if you'd love to see what I've got coming up, I have a couple of great cosplays coming up soon. You can follow me on Instagram at Overthemoonsault, or if you want to follow on Twitter, I don't post very much on Twitter, but it's Overthemoonsault, and then of course on TikTok at Overthemoonsault.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. You have been
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for commenting and sticking around. I know there's some of you guys who've been watching since the stream started. So absolutely thank you. And it's time to go watch TNA right now to see if the Hardys are going to go back to WWE or not.
We'll see.
We'll see how that goes. But thank you guys so much for joining us. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.